You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
at that, I
looking
don't
at
know.
the
My rap, my
youngest
blood
and
boils
fastest
over like,
rising star in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face just to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you had shut the fuck up real bad.
Shut up.
And we are live. Well, welcome to your Jedi Sports Network Raw review. And well, Raw was very interesting, obviously. But before we get into that, let's talk about Naomi and Sasha Banks. And at this point, Luther, who is my guest
Yes.
today, would you say that this is how was I gonna say, a rumor, or would you say that it was it's more likely fact that Naomi and Sasha Banks are unhappy with it at this point?
I believe what I think is irrelevant, but I just think that they're really unhappy with WWE and how they're being booked. Because,
Okay, I'm sorry.
because I mean, if you think about it, they really should. Naomi really should be in the bloodline. I mean, she's around the Usos, and she, and all that. So I don't know. I think they're just misusing both Sasha Banks and Naomi at this point.
Well, there's one thing my wrestling senseis have always taught me is you always got to keep it real. And here's the real part of it. And I don't know if you'll agree or disagree, but let's start with Naomi. Okay. When she first
Yeah,
did the
hello?
whole yeah, I'm here. When she first did the whole glow gimmick, yeah, when she first did the glow gimmick, it was cool at first, but let's be real. There's not much you can do with Naomi. There's really not. She just is what she is, and that's just someone with a stick, to say the least.
Whoa, what's going on? Oh, there you are. You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I was gonna tell a joke, but I guess
Maybe the joke just wasn't meant to be.
yeah.
Yeah, but did you hear any of that?
No.
I was saying basically Naomi, besides the glow thing, the glow gimmick, let's be honest, there's really nothing there.
The glow, yeah. I mean, she's been doing it for how long now?
I think at least 4 to 5 years, maybe.
Possibly. She was
Been a
in the
while.
she was in the Funkadactyls with Cameron, and that was a thing that went horribly.
It was fun though. It was fun for the kids. And as for Sasha Banks, I mean, she's really talented. She really is. But right now in WWE, there's just the women's main event roster is just it's really stacked to the point
Yeah.
where it's like, where do you put Sasha? And no offense to Sasha, but it's like there's really nothing you can do with her. Right? If I'm being honest with you, right now is the best time for her to just take a break.
You mean go away for a while, or?
You could say that.
I mean, realistically, I think that she should. I mean, she was doing her best work with Bayley, and Bayley and her carried the SmackDown Women's Division for the better part of what, 2 years.
Well, her, Charlotte. Don't forget about Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, but who? Count Charlotte.
Oh, I do.
I mean, Charlotte doesn't even. Charlotte couldn't even put over. She couldn't even put her. She couldn't even put over Tony Storm. That's why she left.
Who? Charlotte?
Oh.
If you're talking about Charlotte, she didn't have to.
Oh, she could have. You know.
I mean, sure, you can say that about any wrestler, but I mean, we all know how it is backstage. I mean, there's no way you're gonna be put over Charlotte unless it's like basically in a BS way.
Mm, that's understandable. I get it. I mean, I don't know, but back to the story at hand. Yes, I do believe that. I mean, it's not a shoot, but it is more or less a work.
Yeah, and basically, apparently, they were supposed to be getting like two separate women's title matches where it's like again, right now the title scene is stacked. You look at both women that are holding the title right now. I'm sorry to Naomi and Sasha, but both women that are holding two separate belts right now, they're just a hotter commodity than you are. Ronda Rousey, a more bigger deal than whoever would go after that title if you were Sasha or Naomi.
Naomi. I mean,
Yeah. Um. Did I say Ronda yet? Uh. The other champion right now is who's the other champion right
Bianca
now?
Belair.
Yeah, Bianca Belair. Yeah. For a second, I was gonna say Asuka and Becky, but I think they're fighting to see who's number one contender, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, or they
they're
did.
pregnant.
Yeah, or they did. But anyway, um, but yeah, she right now is massive compared to Sasha and
Mhm.
Naomi.
Mhm.
Like whether you hate or like Bianca Belair, she is just a flat out just she is. I'll say right now, she's in the prime of her career right now.
I mean,
Right,
what is he?
like I'll be honest with you. Do I think Kane backing her up and interviewing her because she's from Tennessee? Does that help? Yes, but at the end of the day, she still got massively over, and that can't be denied. And on top of that, she has a gimmick that gets over with pretty much, or sorry, I should say, can get over with anybody, whether you're a kid or an adult or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
And
what I feel though, I feel like, I'm looking at things now. I just saw Fox News reported that. Well, I mean, it basically issued over the match. I mean, who was it? Who was in the match exactly? Who was supposed to be in the match? Naomi, Sasha, Doudrop.
I I I don't know if they specified who was supposed to be in what match, but that's all I can really say. Is right
No,
now,
I mean the planned match was a 6-pack challenge, right?
I don't know about all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
To be
it
honest with
was.
you.
It was supposed to be Sasha, Naomi, Asuka, Doudrop, Nikki Cross, and Becky Lynch, and they turned it and they left. Sasha and Naomi walked out, so they reverted back to the original plan, which was Asuka and Becky.
All I'm gonna say is, if you're Naomi and Sasha, if you don't like right now what's happening with your career, then do something about it. Like I know that sounds really dumb to say, especially in the wrestler's case who can't really control the direction of their career. But when you look at other wrestlers, a lot of them is who, if when he doesn't like when he's booked, he usually does something about it. Rather, it's you know a talk show or revamping himself or whatever. You can do that too. If you're Sasha and Naomi, and granted, Naomi did do it once. Sasha hasn't really done it, but you can try something.
I mean, true. You're very right about that. I mean, I can tell you right now that I feel like they both need to turn. Well, one of them needs to turn heel, the other one face. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. I do think that Naomi needs to be in the bloodline, like I said. It's more or
Na-
less.
Naomi wouldn't fit in the Naomi in the bloodline. I mean, Sorry, I don't know why my mind thought of Judgment Day when I said she wouldn't fit. Naomi in the Bloodline, I'm 50-50 on that. I mean, of course, there's the whole, she's married to one of the Usos, but I'm like, I'm like,
I mean, like I,
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, realistically, I'm I'm really just I feel like she can be a good heel if you want her to be.
I don't know. I There's been a lot of wrestlers that surprised us before, but let's just move on. I think we covered this enough.
Yeah,
Um, but without a doubt, I still want them to succeed. And if they are frustrated, then I mean, we said what we have to say.
yeah.
Uh, so Raw actually opened up, which I actually was surprised they kind of opened up with this match, but then again, I wasn't at the same time because I mean, hello, like NBA playoffs are happening right now, like we keep pointing out. Um, so obviously Raw is going to be in reverse booking. Um, and so we had Omos versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage match with MVP outside, and I was just sort of like, okay, I'm like kicking off Raw with a bang. I'm like, let's go. I'm pumped. Let's get some energy going. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you know, this match actually, this this is good for a TV match because there's good TV matches. Then there's just like flat out good matches. This
Hmm.
was just a good TV match. Like it was good enough to keep your attention, but no one's gonna walk away and be like, "This boom match of the year." Um, of course, there was interference from MVP. Um, and I don't know about you, but I thought the finish was kind of stupid. I don't like it when WWE does these types of finishes where it's like, oh, this guy's so strong that he throw the guy through the cage, and the guy
You
only
know,
won because the cage broke.
you know what I did during what was it during this match or was it during the Becky Lynch interview? I think it was during the Becky Lynch interview, but I didn't watch. I was like I think I was watching. I was playing Fortnite, so I really didn't watch this match. But
Um, I
I
will say this: you missed out on really solid wrestling.
mm, I mean
Yeah,
I know that Cedric Alexander did interfere twice actually.
yeah, he did interfere actually. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Actually, yeah, Cedric did interfere. But again, the finish, I don't know, it's left him with the really taste. You know what I mean? Really, really, really. but uh, but overall, I still enjoyed this match for what it was, and you know, Omos lost, and off a technicality, I guess.
Technicality, his feet still touch the floor, so he
Yeah,
won.
I know, and I like how the ref went to the announcer to explain what happened. I'm like, everyone's seen how this works. All you gotta do is have your feet touch the floor in some way, and you win. That's really it.
And you still win. I mean, didn't I mean it's happened so many times before. I mean, I know it happened with the Big Show, right? Or was it Mark Henry? One of those two.
Yeah, one of them.
So it's not like it's a mind blowing thing. It just, we all know what happened. Like it's happened before. So
Yeah, I mean, the big question is that I'm going to propose to you is: does it help this feud, and then more importantly, does it help Omos get over?
no, not really. I mean,
I,
sure he's big, he's strong, but in my opinion, really he can't really do much. I mean, sure he's been getting better in the ring, but he's just not that good.
I think it does kind of help Omos in a weird way because because like here's the thing about wrestling. Sometimes fans come and then they go. So somewhere out there was probably like a new fan that watched this and they're gonna become a fan of Omos just because they're like, whoa, that was probably something that never has been done before, but in reality has to us 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does make Bobby come off like a really good face. So do I think this helps the feud?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, yeah, I think it does.
In a
Um,
in a minuscule way, yes, but not a whole lot.
yeah, nothing major, but it does. Put it this way, I think it served its purpose.
Yeah, it. I mean,
Yeah,
do you think it's on the? It's not over, not by a long shot, but
no, the feud's over. Actually, I don't know if you heard the pop, but their feud, people were actually invested in this feud when Omos was fighting Bobby. You actually heard fans chanting Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. So yeah,
are you
this
sure they
feud.
chanted Bobby or was it piped in? Because more than likely they pipe. Sometimes they pipe the crowd noise in.
Sometimes they can, but I don't think WWE would go that far for this match. I'll be honest with
I
you.
mean, I don't like when they pipe things in because it's just so annoying.
I don't think they would go that far for this match, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, like in general, they do pipe in crowd noise, and you can tell half the time.
And plus, it wasn't like a consistent thing. It was like it wasn't like it wasn't like predictable pop, so to speak. They actually they popped when at random moments, so to speak.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
so yeah, the fans are actually into this feud, I think.
I believe it. Like they say, I think it's more than likely over. I mean, like I thought I saw a graphic about something about Bobby and MVP and Omos. What's next for Bobby Lashley? But I think that it was more or less about Omos than it was about uh MVP because
Yeah. But otherwise though, if I had to rate this beginning to Raw, so a solid, especially as an opener, I'll give it like a solid B.
what
Solid B.
I give it a D. I mean, well, not D.
D.
Maybe a C plus or
Come on, man.
B
Come
minus,
on.
B minus, B minus.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like a D. I'm
yeah. Now,
like, bruh, that's something an all elite like fan would probably say if they turn on the Raw and be like, yo, this is doo doo compared to like the wrestling matches we see. But anyway, yeah. Uh, so anyway, the next segment is Austin Theory gets on the mic, obviously, and he talks about how he needs a referee and comes out, the Miz, and you know, I know we haven't really been talking about it that much, but like I'll be honest with you, I understand like we'll dissect it more when we get into it. But basically, the Miz, he comes out as the special guest referee,
again,
and yeah, and you know, then Ali comes down,
he
and
didn't even get an entrance. He got a jobber entrance, which really pisses me off.
who Ali?
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. And then we found out that we're gonna have Mustafa Ali versus Veer Mahan, this is Veer Mahan's first serious match. But the first thing I want to get out of the way is, um, I believe that the Miz should be in a lot more important feud.
you mean as far as like not with Austin Theory or not
I
with
I just feel like I know the Miz is a big yes man, and I know he can help anything get over. And granted, he is kind of doing that with this, but I know he's a big yes man. But I just feel like he should be part of something bigger. If that makes sense.
like what? Like what exactly? I mean, what else is going on that needs the Miz's attention?
Uh
If I'm, you know,
by the way, welcome MK to the show. But
but,
I I just wish the Miz was doing something bigger than just playing special guest referee every week.
I mean, granted, like I said, he's not the best wrestler, but he's like
What do you
by
mean?
far, by,
He's like He's a top 5 wrestler right now at the very least. Like even if you hate the guy,
He's not that good, but
he's
I
not
digress.
that good.
Can I chime in for a minute?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so you guys are talking about the Mustafa Ali and the
Veer Mahan.
Mahan segment, right? You guys are
Yes.
talking about the Miz. So just to give my quick thoughts on it. And as far as the segments going, I
No,
know.
we just got into it, so you can.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you guys were closing it off. Okay.
No. Right now, we're literally talking about the Miz. Like, should he be something more important, or
I think with the Miz, I know currently he's in the middle of this Austin Theory Mustafa Ali storyline right now. And sure, it's not the greatest utilization for the Miz, but at the same time, uh, he's at a point of his career where he's helping out other people, especially like Austin Theory right now. But I wouldn't say the Miz is a terrible wrestler. I wouldn't go that far. I
no,
think Miz is
I
great.
said it's a top 5 wrestler.
Well, of
today
course
at
you
the
are. You're a
WWE.
Miz mark. I know that.
No, it's not even being a Miz mark. It's the truth. Okay, you know what? I'll wait. Name 5 more wrestlers better than the Miz. I know
Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton,
Seth
uh,
Rollins. Cody's not better than the Miz. Shut up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah.
I wouldn't
Seth-
necessarily put Miz that high, but at the same time,
Seth Rollins is not better than the Miz right now.
no, Seth is better than Miz, right?
Not
Seth is one
all
of
time. Not all time. That's a fact.
but the point is that I don't necessarily think Miz is a terrible wrestler. I think he's actually because if you're looking at like in-ring ability, or you're looking at like overall, I think he's great. I actually think and I think he's one of the more underappreciated wrestlers of the last decade or so, you know, because I feel like for the longest time people thought, okay, Miz is not exactly the most flashiest wrestler in the world, but at the same time, that's not something that Miz is. He plays a character to a T, and he can get easy heel heat, and not to mention, even with him not being the most flashiest guy in the ring, he's also had a lot of great matches too, you know? So that's the thing. Like Miz,
Yeah.
say what you want about him, he's still one of your more valuable assets to the company, even at this stage of his career. You know, whether you like the guy or not, it's clearly up to you. It's subjective at the end of the day. But to me,
Yeah.
I do believe that Miz is even though he's not doing the most right now, at the same time, you know what? He can definitely get a storyline. I think Miz is
Yeah.
always going to be a guy that's always going to have a storyline.
Yeah, and I think that's why they put him in this feud, because they're like, hey, if anyone can help get this feud over, it's the Miz. And in my head, I'm like, I get that, but like this guy's the Miz. It's not like he's Joe Smo. I'm like,
I think
but
the bigger
but
bigger issue. Oh, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, but I'm like, I understand their logic, but anyway, like I don't know. I guess me and the WWE writers gonna agree to disagree in a weird way.
But going back to the segment though, I feel like the bigger issue with this is I feel like Mustafa Ali is not really connecting with the crowd.
No,
You know, he came back. Yeah, go ahead.
That's because he's been away for like what 9 months or something like that.
Yeah, but this is also the same guy that's been in the company for like 4 years prior.
And it's
know?
not like
Especially-
WWE didn't. It's not like WWE didn't give him a chance. On top of that, like they even gave him like a cool mask at some point. Made him look like Sub-Zero.
It's not even.
Like,
It's not even just that. It's just like because remember when the whole situation that happened with Ollie, him wanting to leave and whatnot, and the whole hashtag Free Ollie thing was going on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At the same, this is one of those situations where just because social media is buzzing about you doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to your reaction to the crowd, you know?
Mhm.
So I guess it's one of those situations. And look, he is a talented performer, but for the longest time, whether it's babyface or heel or whatnot, he isn't exactly the guy that people tend to cheer for or tend to care for, right? Sure, you can say, okay, maybe it's because of creative not giving him the best, but at the same time, it's like, you know, there has to be a little bit of blame towards the wrestler as well, and I just think Mustafa Ali kind of he's one of those guys that's like, okay, there is something there, but there's also something missing with him. He needs something for him to
It's
really
the it
connect.
factor. It's, if I'm being honest with you, like it's that special effect that a lot of other wrestlers don't have. If I'm being honest with
I
you.
just also think that he kind of plays the same kind of character that most people do. Like, hey, I'm an underdog. I have cool moves. It's like, well, to be fair, how does he really stand out from someone like, I don't know, Ricochet, who's
He's
actually
brown.
you know, okay, explain the obvious, but but Ricochet is a better high flyer than Ali is, right? That's what separates him a little bit, right? So it's just
Well,
like he needs something more than just, hey, I'm back to do the same thing I did 4 years ago. Go ahead.
basically, what you're saying is that he's not that good, but at the same time, he really is. But he doesn't have anything that sets him apart because they basically make him like everybody else. Like you know,
Yeah, I guess yes, that's true. And I'm not saying it's due to him per se. Like maybe it is, but also you have to. It's one of those things where you have to, put blame on the performer and creative as well, right?
it's mainly creative. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not his fault because it mostly is because he wanted to walk away because of what creative was giving him, which was nothing. And he was in Retribution for a while. He was the leader of Retribution, and then half of Retribution is gone. Like
I
Mia
yeah
Yim, Shane Thorne, Downing Dutch Kopic's there, and so is Neil Madden, but they're on different. Well, no, is Neil
yeah
Madden on SmackDown, right?
yeah the Mace,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yes,
Mace, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know
yeah.
what his name is. I'm just gonna call him Neil Madden. And then we got Downing Dutch Kovic, who actually is a very good wrestler. They need to do something with him as well before he wants to be released. I mean, he wants his walking papers. I mean, I
I,
feel like
I,
I honestly, I'm going to say it like this. I feel like Nick Khan is the guy, the president or whatever the hell he is, doesn't care about wrestling. All he cares about is making money. And
well,
Well, I
you
think
know
because
that's
what?
I think that's go ahead, heel.
Isn't that every wrestling promoter?
well, true, but I mean at the
Yeah,
same time, he's
yeah,
not a
yes,
promoter.
yes and no, because I still think, even though yes, promoters do mostly care about the money, but at the same time they're not willing to ruin their own company just for the money. You know what I mean? It's like they still care about the wrestling. That's why they use it to
Well,
make
they
money,
have
I
to
guess.
care about the wrestling. That's how they make their money.
Yeah, that's why I'm. Yeah,
It's
so you're
from
so
the,
you're basic.
from
So
the-
basically, yeah. That's what Samurai is
that's
saying,
like
though. It's
that's like shelling. That's like saying, man, dude, like I have to sell chocolate bars at the same to make money, but at the same time not care about the chocolate bars or something like that. I don't know.
so and go, but go on.
Anyway,
Yeah, go
um,
ahead.
but
We're getting off topic.
before we get on the big tangent here, point is, yes, I can totally see why people will understand why Mustafa Ali could probably benefit either by simply going to AEW or simply bidding like better books. Or, but
I
I
just
can,
think I just
but
think I just think he needs a much more of a defined character. We just need
yeah,
to know who the hell
yeah,
he is,
yeah, I
right?
know, and I agree with that, and I also slightly agree with Samurai here, where maybe he could benefit from simply being better bugs or something like that. But the point is, we haven't even got to the meats and potatoes of this whole.
Yeah. To be
Yeah,
fair, the biggest highlight of the whole thing was Ray and Dominic, uh, returning and beating up Veer.
we
That's
hadn't
the
even
only thing
gotten to
I.
that part, man. Come on.
I mean, I mean, it's
Anyway, shut up.
What they
All right,
what they
all right.
what,
Okay, so Mustafa Ali and Veer Mahan, they obviously have a match, and
the match wasn't bad for what it was.
Veer Mahan wins by submission, and then if I remember correctly, Veer Mahan and others they attack him, and then that's when we see the Mysterios, I believe, come out. And then they start helping Mustafa Ali. So who knows, Samurai? Maybe you might get your wish because it looks like Mustafa Ali is gonna team with the Mysterios against Veer Mahan and the Miz and Austin Theory, which is
Yeah,
gonna be a big deal.
yeah. I mean, Yes, for what it is, like I said, for what it is, it's you can you already saw the 6-man tag coming. I
I
mean,
think
I didn't see it coming. I'll be honest with you. When I went,
you don't have to have foresight to know that.
I didn't see it coming. I'll be honest with you because I didn't know if Rey Mysterio and them, but at the same time, I kind of did. I'll be honest with you. I was 50-50 because I didn't know what they were gonna have Dominic do.
I mean,
yeah.
let's talk about Dominic for a minute. Let's talk about him. Where do you see? When do you see him and Ray breaking up?
Okay, that's not part of the show. We're talking about the Raw
I
review,
know that,
not
but
a career review.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
yeah, but I guess just to make it short, just to answer your question, when do I see them breaking up? Probably within the next 6 months,
He has a
probably.
chance to be a star, and I don't know. I'll
And I
tell you
think I
that.
actually think they should break up now. Honestly, it's
No, not now. You
Dominic
know,
deserves a singles run.
I think Dom needs to. I think Ray needs to just drop him off at the NXT parking lot for. Yeah, just send him down there for 6 months. Ray continued does his own singles feuds, and then return to them being a team because I think Dominic needs to be more polished. You know,
Dominic really should have started in NXT instead of just going right to the main roster. That's how I feel about it.
all right, that's good. That's cute. All right, now we see Becky Lynch. Apparently she has a talk with Adam Pearce.
Oh yeah,
She, yeah.
that I didn't see that because I went to go get tacos.
but
Oh,
by the way, have you guys already discussed the whole Sasha Naomi stuff?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
already
did
have. That's
Ah, okay, okay.
the selfies.
yeah. So basically, and then Becky was arguing with Adam Pearce. And she claims something about Sasha and Naomi leaving this the bill the Six Packs challenge, whatever. So then we get Matt Riddle coming down to the ring, and then we get Jimmy Uso versus Matt Riddle. And there's not much to say about this except for the fact that I think it was a solid match, and I think it does uh bring some more heat onto the feud. Sorry, not heat. I think it's still
What do
it,
you?
it,
Okay,
it, it does its purpose. It progresses the feud because Matt Riddle won. I was gonna say Heat because I almost forgot who won, but then I look at my notes and I'm like Matt Riddle won.
what
It
do
was a
you
small
think?
title.
Who do you think benefits from winning the unification match?
Honestly, probably the Usos.
I'm right there with you. I mean, Randy and Matt Riddle are going to break up in the next like 6 weeks. So
I honestly I don't really think any team really benefits or really loses anything with this unification thing currently, in my
yeah,
opinion.
but
I
if you think about it, they unify the titles and basically they make the tag division a whole. But at the same time, they don't. I heard that Fox doesn't want Raw superstars on SmackDown and vice versa. So
I don't even think I don't
I
even
don't
think
really.
it's a go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know where why they want that and who it benefits. Honestly,
I say the reason why it doesn't benefit or really gains anything because for one, even if the Usos were to win the tag titles, right, and unify them so to speak, it's not like they have really any new teams to fight anyways. They fought everyone, right? Even on Raw, they fought RK Bro. They've already fought the Street Profits a bunch of times, the Mysterios, right? Even on SmackDown, the New Day, the Viking Raiders. With RK Bro, maybe you may have one or two new teams, but it's not much. So it's not like if you unify the tag team division, right? It's not really gonna help them in the long run. Maybe in the short run, okay, you may have some different matches, but are they really different matches? Because you've kind of seen everybody fought everybody. So it's like, and I just feel like this whole unification thing is not really necessary, honestly. I know a lot of people want them to be unified.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be a
think
cool thing to see though when the
it's
belts
not
are held
not
by
not
on
not
one side of
not
the whole Samoan dynasty or
that's the
bloodline.
it's just the thing is it's like okay they're doing
It's a
it for
cool
the visual.
vision. You got to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's the visual, yeah. But once you get past that, it's like then what? Because are we gonna see the Usos defend the unified tag titles against RK Bro and then the New Day? Then
Well,
like
you got to realize this though, especially with Cody Rhodes now breaking down the forbidden door. You never know; the Young Bucks could start coming over and
all
stuff
right,
like
man.
that.
All right, all
Yeah,
right, man.
no, the young bucks are not. They're never gonna go WWE. Honestly, this is.
Hey, a wise man once told me, "Never say never."
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, but in terms of the match itself, I thought the match was pretty good between Riddle and Jimmy. Like Jimmy and I feel like the Usos are actually not only they're a great tag team, but they're also really solid, really good singles wrestlers. I don't know, maybe you may have to start thinking about putting them in singles title contention someday. I
But
don't know.
there.
I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
for what title? I mean, what? I mean, they're on SmackDown. The only title they can really go for is the Intercontinental Championship because Roman has the the
I'm
Universal.
I always thought. Remember when Jay
Breaking
had those?
news:
I
Paul
remember when
Heyman. Breaking news: Paul Heyman will go after the U.S. and IC titles next.
I always thought when Jay had those series of matches with Roman and whatnot, and when he was having that kind of that main event Jay Uso run like a year or two ago, I was like, you know what? If they were to give him the IC title during that time, I would be cool with it because I feel like the Usos in general are actually really good wrestlers, singles and tag teams. So why not? If you ever think about putting the IC title on one of them, I'd be cool with it. Be
I
cool with it.
mean, they're little brothers in NXT, so I mean, you could actually do something with that too.
True, true, true. If you let's say if you wanted to go that route too.
Yeah, I feel like what they're doing is they're trying to make the Samoan dynasty or the bloodline like take every title. I mean, because right now he's in a feud with Cameron Grimes, and he might win the title.
All right, now we're getting off track. Let's go back to the show. All
Hey,
right,
I'm just saying.
so now after that we get Rhea Ripley joining
What's up,
Judgment Day.
guys? Real quick,
Hey, Jeddah.
I just want to chime in real quick. Sola Sokoa is not ready yet to get on the main roster, guys. He's still got a little seasoning in NXT. I know you say you didn't want to go off track, but you guys been off track since earlier. But all I know, I don't. If he was ready, he would be another one to go in there and take that belt from. But he's getting over in the NXT building, and every week he's getting better. But he's still, me personally, he's got a lot of seasoning with that there. Did you talk about Mustafa Ali already?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we-
did.
Okay, so now you're at the Judgment Day.
Yeah, we are.
All right. MK, good
Yeah, yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, good evening. Good
Let's be
evening.
honest. We all know Jedi cam here because he wanted us to talk about the kiss cam. De los lotiros. Yeah.
You want to talk about the kiss cam, huh?
Yeah.
Anywho, so rolling on to the Judgment Day segment.
Did you guys talk about?
Yeah, we
the-
did. We
Yeah,
covered
we did.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did pretty much. I mean, up
Yeah.
until the Judgment Day.
Yeah, we're covering everything and more. So, that's
All right, cool. Rock on.
yeah. And that's a surprise entrance from Kev, making his Chris Jericho back and forth entrance. Anyway, next we got Rhea Ripley with the Judgment Day thing, and Liv Morgan got interviewed backstage. She said that Ripley will never get away from this and blah blah blah. So, what do you guys think about the whole Judgment Day thing?
I mean, I like it. I like the Judgment Day thing. I mean, I just don't think that Rhea needs to work on her promo. Really, I mean, she did a good promo, but she has to work on it a little bit more.
I think I agree with you because, like, I mean, granted, Edge himself was never that good at promos, but yeah, obviously he's a veteran, so he knows more about how to cut a promo. Because like, it is kind of weird when you go to Edge and he's like, "Yeah, I cut at least a good promo now." And then you go to Damian Priest, he's like, "I'm okay." Then you go to Ripley, "I'm gonna try." Yeah.
In terms of this segment, I don't. It's weird. I made a comment about this on Twitter yesterday about the whole Judgment Day thing. I feel like the stable has potential, like it really does, and I like the Edge and Priest and Rhea being a stable and whatnot. My only issue with this is that I don't know what's the main goal for Edge with this whole stable. You know, like so what's the
Well,
purpose of it? Like what's his motive?
they,
Like,
by the way, I'm sorry to cut you off. They did tease new recruits.
yes, I get that. But what's like, and maybe someone can explain this to me for me to better understand the whole character and everything like that. Like, what's really Edge's motive, so to speak? You know,
That
he
is
claims
their
to be
join. I don't know.
like because he claims that he's on the mountain of omnipotence, and they call themselves Judgment Day, and I guess he's
No,
a judge, so
correction.
to
They
speak.
call themselves the Judgment Day. Okay, the
True,
Judgment
true,
Day.
true. Thank you. That's true. But, um, but but yeah, I'm like, okay, so is Edge basically the judge of all people, so to speak? You
I
know,
think
In a
is
way, in a weird way,
he's the judge, jury, and executioner. I
he's the
mean,
Judge Judy of all.
so I guess
uh,
is he the judge telling people like, hey, you know, I know your full potential and you shouldn't be listening to the because I'm like, okay, what's Edge's basically character right now? Because when they would do these kind of faction or kind of cult like gimmicks, you kind of understand where the leaders' motives are. With Edge, it's kind of a little bit either unclear for me, so I'm just hoping that someone could actually explain that to me here.
You can
I,
tweet at Edge and ask him.
I mean, you could.
I could, but I don't want to get blocked. But I'm just saying, it's like, like I said, there's potential there, and yes, there will be. It'll take some time, but I don't know. It's like, what's Edge's real motive in this? Like, why is the group even a thing? You know, in
I
the
don't know.
first place.
Maybe he just got tired of catering. I don't know.
I'm not really gonna answer this question yet because the group is still relatively new.
I
I
get that.
and I think we're gonna get more answers as the group continues to go
How many
on.
people? How many people do you think are going to actually join the group?
Maybe you add one or two more people, maybe a total of
Yeah,
five.
it's a weird question to answer. I don't know. Um,
I think 4 to 5 people is a good number of people.
yeah, maybe one or two more. I'm gonna go around that
I mean,
number.
I can see Tommaso joining, but then it's
I
like,
think
do you really want Tommaso to join?
I think Tommaso, you know who would work? I think T-Bar would work. Dominic Dijakovic would work.
We
You
call
know,
him by his government name, Dominic Dijakovic.
just call him Dijak. I think that would just work better for him. You know,
I mean, do you
um,
think they're going to change his name back at some point? I mean, unless he gets like the axe. But
I think I think if he were to join the Edge faction, that he would have to change his name because of story like, hey, I changed you. I'm gonna make you live your full potential. You're no longer gonna be T-Bar. You're gonna be Dijak. You know.
I think that both Tommaso and Dominic Dijakovic could join the Judgment Day. I think that they deserve at least something for being booked like dog poop.
I think, and also too, I think that they need for any babyface that goes against Edge, they need um some henchmen, so to speak. And I
Mm-hmm.
think
That's
so.
why you got the Bullet Club now. Oh, got you there.
All right.
I
Speaking
mean,
of Bullet Club,
Yeah.
great segue.
So AJ and Finn pitch Liv on teaming up to fight against Judgment Day. So I guess he's now part of Bullet Club. And yeah, then we see them hanging out and blah blah blah. Yeah, there we go. See, look
Los
at that.
Lotharios.
Yeah, look at that really cute picture. Anyway, so so then we have the rest of the Judgment Day stuff, and then that leads into basically
Los
Lotus
Lotharios.
yeah, Angel
sound it
Garza
out.
in Alberto girl.
So wait, did they? Okay, here's a question: did they give them back their first names?
I guess so.
My question is, did they trade these guys from SmackDown to Raw? Because I could have sworn like 2 months ago they were on SmackDown.
They're supposed to be on SmackDown.
I don't know. The only thing I know is I'm gonna be honest with you. They are a guilty pleasure of mine. And then, because I'm not gonna lie. Everyone should know this about me. I'm a fan of like cheesy gimmicks, especially when they work.
Mhm.
And then, but they face AJ Styles and Finn Balor, and you know, it wasn't a bad match.
Yeah, it was good.
It was for it worked for what it was, I guess. And AJ Styles and Finn Balor won. And
What's up, fellas?
hey, what's up?
All right, man. Now, let me ask you this question here. With the Lotharios, you saw that they were trying to court Liv Morgan earlier in the day, one of those promos that they cut.
Mhm.
Now, we're trying to see now, as well, Edge asking for AJ to, like, hey, there's still time. Finn, there's still time. Liv, there's still time to join them. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Do you see a classic turnaround or a heel turn from Finn Balor? Remember, his persona is the demon. And unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but this faction of Judgment Day, they're Lutherians. They want to be with that. Do you see a possible heel turn here or change? I see this is going to be a big staple. It looks like, so what you think?
What I see here is there is a chance that Judgment Day could probably get to Finn Balor so much that he has to release the demon in order to get to them.
I think if there's any of those guys that are gonna willing to join, I think it's gonna be Finn, because I feel like he has a lot more to gain in the story. AJ's already established. Liv is kind of on her way. Finn has kind of been the one that's been like sidetracked for the longest time.
He's been floating in mediocrity for the past
and I think maybe and I think with him in storyline, Edge can be that quote unquote like guiding light, so to speak.
Yeah, but we already okay. What do you think about who else joins Judgment Day besides? Let's not talk about Finn Balor joining Judgment Day because he might, but at the same time he might not.
Right.
Who else do you think will be? Who else do you think will benefit from Judgment Day besides Finn?
Good question on that one. I think, to be honest with you, if they would have done it already, Tommaso Ciampa, maybe, but John Gracie, if they call him up to the main roster, could fit that kind of persona because he has that. I think he's doing Bray Wyatt ripoff in NXT. No.
Elias return?
No, I don't see that happening. He's over with his situation.
No, that's not him though. Elias could return and be on Judgment Day.
It's okay.
Yeah, but I can see that happening there. I'm trying to think of another wrestler who's even Mustafa.
I pitched the idea of Dijakovic.
Okay, yeah, I can see Jacob. I can see that. I can see that as well. I think it's going to be more than just one person. Everyone thinks it's just one and that's it. I don't think so, man. This is going to be like Ministry of. Remember the Ministry with when Undertaker. You had Minion. You had the APA. Then you had it started getting bigger. And I think this is going to get something like that, dude.
Yeah.
Could it be a possibility? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I do believe it could be like the second coming of the Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah.
What if they add 2 more women on there?
Oh,
or 1 or 2.
What if they make Bray Wyatt return?
No, I wouldn't go there because the thing with Bray is that he's always he was always portrayed as more of a leader, so to speak, in terms of like his character.
Here's the thing, though. Here's why it could work, because Edge can be like, you know what? No one could ever see the true talent in you, but I do. So come and join me, and I'll help you get to the top like you always wanted to.
I think Bray is too much of an alpha.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a clash of
Uh-huh.
like of leaders, so to speak. Clash like it's like I get what you mean, but it's
Mhm.
like you have one leader and you have another leader, but you're gonna bring that former leader into a group. There's it's kind of a weird mesh, so to speak. You know?
Yeah.
Ooh, Mustafa Ali. Once he gets done with this
Yeah,
feud.
I just said that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, sorry.
I just said that. Mustafa, because he's frustrated. You know, where he's at, the way he's getting his butt kicked by Veer, and then he's they're taking pictures. You know, Edge could get in his ear. You really want to be, fighting here? People taking selfies, taking pictures of you, screwing you with a guest referee, so forth, etc., etc. And he turns into a dark character. He will go over as a really bad SOB heel, in my opinion. What do you guys think on that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like it. I do. I mean, I'm not gonna turn that down. I like it.
I mean, it would be different for Ali, but I also think I don't know. Ali as a heel doesn't necessarily work too much. But then again, maybe this is something that can get him out of his comfort shell. You know, so it could work. It
No,
could
he needs to,
work.
what he needs to do is he needs to bring back the
Okay.
054.
I know I hate getting off topic, but do you think, especially with the Bloodline getting all the belts, do you think this may lead to kind of like the Judgment Day version, like a face turn Bloodline?
No, no.
Listen, somebody that's gonna. It looks like the WWE is getting into staples here, because you know why I say that, because you see it in NXT. You're seeing that storyline, and pretty much they're preparing the young talent into Raw, and I think they're going into different staples, in my opinion, because not only in NXT and AEW, you also see it in AEW. They have the Dark Order, House of Black, Death Triangle, Jericho Society, so forth, etc., etc. And it tends
Who
to be wrestling tends to be kind of a copycat gimmicks or storyline, but in their own version, I can see that happening. What do you guys think on that?
I mean,
I
I
mean,
agree.
it's possible. It looks like they are going into the more of a stable route, anyways. Which I'm cool with. Because I feel like that's something that they've been lacking a little bit. Because they got rid of
I
the
agree.
Hurt Business, and the only stable they had was the Bloodline, and I think you need at least one or two more stables. Not necessarily carrying in the main event scene, but just more obstacles for baby faces to go through. And I think with Edge's group having more people, it can do that. For whoever's challenging them down the road. You know,
Ooh, here's someone that'll be perfect for Judgment Day, especially if he keeps losing to Bobby Lashley like this. Omos.
nah,
Nah,
it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't
no,
fit.
he's not that type of. He's the Nigerian nightmare. You're gonna put him like in a gothic. What is he gonna? It doesn't fit.
I
I
I
agree
Don't
see.
with that.
I think
No,
maybe who could work Shotzi.
Osmus.
Shotzi, where is she then?
Shotzi. Shotzi,
Uh,
she's in Raw. She's in SmackDown.
But they could,
She's fighting in
but they could,
SmackDown.
but they could trade her. You know,
Oh
if,
no,
if
I'm not. I know that. Because like you mentioned, I heard when you were saying the Lotharios, they jumping from brand to brand because they're really not a main. They're right now, and let's face it, they're just jobbers right now, tag team jobbers, just to fill in with the kiss cam and so forth. That's why you're able to see them jump from brand to brand, with it, because they really don't know what and there's
I mean,
potential.
Also, I
There's no
think
direction for them.
on a side note, isn't Angel Garza supposed to be married or have a fiance? He's kissing all these random women.
we want you to forget about that.
Yeah. Stop, stop,
Hey,
stop, samurai.
so
You're going too deep.
Hmm.
so what is the next segment?
The next segment is we get Kevin Owens talking to Alpha and Academy about a DNA test, and then the DNA test apparently comes back negative
It was
because,
compromised.
yeah, or whatever, because Otis spilled barbecue sauce on it,
We don't
and
know it was Otis. It wasn't Otis.
well,
It was
well,
Elias.
Kevin Owens basically points to Otis. He's like, I know why this had barbecue sauce on it because, you know, you were, because you need to take a lie detector test because you were eating like barbecue ribs or whatever.
Hey, look, before you butcher
Yeah.
this segment, he said, I saw you backstage when we were in catering, and you had your plate full
Yeah.
of ribs, and you were full of barbecue sauce, and you totally botched the DNA test like Keel just botched this segment.
Yeah, well, there you go. I botched the segment. He botched the DNA test, and then yeah, I guess in this sense, yeah, me and Otis do have something in common. Yeah, so then basically Alexa Bliss then makes her entrance or whatever. Then we get
Whoa, someone, okay, hopefully we could do this segment with you, Heel.
Delete! 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 Delete!
I think deleting is an understatement.
well, at least I was right about Alexa Bliss making her entrance, and then we get her versus Sonya Deville.
So what happened with the barbecue sauce?
Oh, the barbecue sauce. Oh, it got spelt over something that Elias had, I believe, in Ezekiel, and that's why he came
Right,
back.
and then you jumped into Alexa Bliss. They had a match after that.
I thought the barbecue thing was because of Otis tampering with the DNA with the sample. That's why it got messed up.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned. He was eating in the buffet.
Yeah, Gable said he'll expose Ezekiel.
Yeah, but Heel said that Elias or Ezekiel messed up the freaking.
But the match wasn't next, at least from my notes.
Okay.
Yeah, after that was Alexa Bliss versus Sonya Deville. And
Yeah.
And
that was a short match. Two matches in a row that was short. On that program.
That's what I'm saying in my notes, and I'm just like, the match couldn't have been that quick, and I'm just like, yeah, it was though. Yeah, Alexa Bliss wins by pinfall.
Beer Mahan and Ali had a longer match than that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? Let me ask you this: where do the WWE go now? Here, is that It kind of feels like we got Alexa Bliss. We gotta put her on TV because she was complaining not being on TV. But at the same time, we're squashing Sonya Deville. That's what it feels like. Like, what direction do they have for these ladies?
I don't get the whole. Here's what I don't get. Okay, I don't know if you guys are with me on this, but I remember when they first started this feud, they made Sonya Deville seem like she was going to be the next big, like, the feud, like a big threat to the women's title. Right. And then now they're just like jobbing her out week after week, and I was like, how do you expect us to take her seriously? If you can't even like last like 10 minutes with Alexa Bliss,
they don't. They that's the thing. They don't want you to think that she's a viable contender. So that's why they have her jobbing out to Alexa.
I guess the story with her is more about she's still
she can't be an underdog because she's a heel.
No, she's still being like crazy about her getting fired as the official. So
yeah, that's
I see that storyline there.
Yeah, that's because they've been telling for the last couple of weeks, where I think that's putting her off her game, right? So I think within the next few weeks, this is just gonna be a continuation thing. As far as like Alexa's concerned, I think she's just kind of, I don't know. For some reason, I have this weird feeling she might get cut. From like how Bray and Braun Strowman did a year ago.
That's the same. That was my point there. With let's put her on TV because she was complaining that she hasn't been on. Similar to the Mustafa Ali. The only difference is that Mustafa's getting squashed here. In his in-ring back on TV performance. But as Alexa Bliss, she's got 2 quick victories. Extremely fast. Like, okay, go out there, do your thing. And
Also, too, is that with Mustafa Ali, he's in a storyline right now. At least there's a direction. With Alexa, not so much.
I just don't get the whole story, I guess you say, with Sonya Deville being pumped up as like, oh, now I'm like a monster like GM, and then it's like, no, you're not.
Here's another one. That's another one for Judgment Day because she got fired, and Yeah, you go over to her and say, you know what? She has the look of fitting that Judgment Day group.
Yeah, she does.
You know, and that character of, you know, you're getting tired. You know, you were in position of authority, and the man took it from you. Come on, join us, where you are in control, and you're gonna take back. You're gonna pass judgment on those who got you in that state of depression or losing or whatever, losing her job. That's a perfect storyline to get her in there if they want to grow that staple with another late female. But although I don't want to, I really personally, to be honest with you, I don't want to see Rhea Ripley be a tag, because you could have turned Liv Morgan dark too. You know, unless yeah, I was gonna say, MK, and I know what you're gonna say. Unless if they're gonna team up Alexa and Liv and Rhea and Sonya. Well, I don't hope I think you were going that way. I'm sorry to jump in.
No worries. I was thinking maybe they would add maybe the stable might have 3 women in there. You have Rhea as the solo, and then Sonya and whoever else is the
I
tag.
like that too.
Yeah. Because you need one team to go after the tag titles, and then you need one for the solo act too.
I like that.
So they can do that as well.
They very well could do that. I mean, I really don't know where the direction is that they're going, because like it's WWE and it's Vince. You can't really plan ahead. Vince hasn't done long-term booking in about 20 years.
Yeah, because of the way people don't get over contract disputes, non-contract dispute. Now we got to worry about people wanting to quit. You know, and you know,
and also people's attention spans too.
Yes.
Well,
You're basically catering to a bunch of kids most of the time. So
I don't even think it's just kids. It's just, let's kind of just be honest here. Even if fans do say, "Oh, we want long-term storytelling," let's say if a story goes by like 6 weeks, people just want it to end because it's too long. You know, they kind of just want the next thing. You know, if a title reign goes longer than 6 weeks, they say, "All right, this guy's boring. New champion." You know, it's like
you could say the same thing about Roman Reigns, because he's held the Universal title for what, over 600 days.
Yeah, but there's people that are already tired of him.
Dude, there's people already tired about Bianca Belair as champion right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And she just got it in WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah, so the point is like people be like, "Oh, we want long-term storytelling." Like people were complaining when Rollins and Mysterio were feuding for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean where he took out Alisher's eye?
Yeah, basically it's, we want long-term storytelling, but they can't handle a 6-month program. I'm like, So I don't know.
I mean, the main person that I know who you're talking about. The main person that complains about that kind of stuff is
I don't want to mention any names here, but
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Exactly who you're talking about. He complains about everything.
But I just feel like that's a lot of fans anyways. It's like, I don't know, that's just how it is.
I agree with you on that. That's a good statement. I agree with you that the attention span is of folks are very short. They don't allow a natural progression of a good storyline of a heel and face or storyline here, and that's the only issue. And I think you got to credit Vince. You know, everyone complains, he's a decrepit old man who's running the wrestling business, but he's listening to the fans because he's not stubborn. He's still creative. He's still a genius at his age. He
has some, and that's the thing. Like Roman and Brock had a 8-month program, essentially.
He's a smarter wrestling mind than we'll all ever be combined.
Yeah, and then people everybody wants to jump on the new flavor, but not for nothing, it looks cute, but we could do a podcast on dissecting what's wrong with AEW. There's a lot wrong with it. There might be, short term it looks cute, but you dissect the long term of it, it's not going to be sustained. It's not sustainable for success. They're bleeding money out of the wing wang. And I hate to jump off topic, but we want to give Vince McMahon his credit because he knew, once again, I'm going to look at the camera again, he knew that Keith Lee, you suck. I say it every stream. You suck.
Keith Lee, of course, Keith
Yes.
Lee. He calls himself
He is very limited. The very limited Keith Lee. You
The
suck.
very limited.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
very true. I mean, honestly, I don't know why, but you can't. You have a gimmick in Bearcat. Now, Bearcat, he could have done something with it, but because of the way he talks and the way he's like, I have to get mad in order to be in this gimmick. You know, you don't. You don't have to be mad to be in a gimmick. You can just do it. Come
no,
on now.
the problem with that whole thing is it's like Keith was like, "What's my motivation?" I'm like, "Bro, you go out there and kill people, but why? Because
But
you're a
why?
monster. But you're a monster." I'm like,
I hate
"Bro,
to, sorry to get you away from the Raw with the Keith Lee stuff, but that's why Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. When guys get cut, they get cut for a reason. There is no longer, the same thing with Braun Strowman. You seen him, how he looks now? He looks like a moron with his
Oh.
haircut.
Brock got pissed at him. I'll never forget that. Brock got so mad at him for botching the one simple move. It was just a punch too. I think Braun botched, and Brock was like, "Bro, cut it out, babe." And then he botched. He hit him back too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vince knows how to sell certain people to certain people, certain places. And remember, they got a contract coming up. New TV deals are coming up. They have to present, and they make pitches to the networks. He's got some new up and comers, some young stars. He's not giving you the same old decrepit person. He's not paying a guy who was a living legend to come out there like Sting and stand there like a moron to escort, to be a chaperone for Darby to come out there. No, he brings talent. He knows what he's doing. I mean, I don't know why they just want to see him fail. And guess what? It's been 40 years. He's not gonna fail.
More than
yo,
40 years on the technicality, because the
Yeah.
WWE
I
has
mean,
technically been around to like the 1940s, 60s, something like that.
it was WWW
Yeah,
Worldwide
Wrestling
Wrestling Federation. Yeah.
Yeah, I go back. Listen. I watch more wrestling than all you three guys. You guys were probably being conceived when I was watching wrestling.
Hey, I'm
That's
30,
weird.
so
I got 15 plus years on you, brother, and I've seen it.
so basically, he was watching wrestling since the Stone Ages."
I've been
well,
watching. No, pretty much. I watched it when a name that you can see, and he's a Hall of Famer, Antonino Roca. Of course, the Bruto San Martino, and I'm not here to give a history lesson, but I've watched the wrestling. I seen all these different things. One thing about Vince McMahon and his father, the audience change, but the story, the creativity, the storyline, always there, and they know how to make money. And
Now, this is a story all about how Kev's wrestling real life got turned upside down.
Yeah. So what's the next match here? Because we
Yeah. Well, basically, Cody Rhodes makes his entrance, and then we go to commercial break. Cody Rhodes cuts a promo, and then he says that he's been told that Seth Rollins isn't here, although he's surrounded by lovers here in Virginia. He hopes that Seth is listening. Last week, he tried to move forward and is extinguish this chapter in their career, but Rollins dumped gasoline on the fire and said the most particular thing. He said that Cody would never take anything away ever again, and that is it that he took away 2 victories, a winner's purse, a little bit of pride. If anything, the biggest threat to Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins trapped is a purgatory of his own design. He recalls the beginning of Seth Rollins' career, that stuff. His mediocrity rise in the WWE, proving that there was a glass ceiling in the first place, and all that. It's a long stuff that I had to write, so I might have messed up on a few of these.
Here, I can sum that up real quick.
Yeah.
He just said that he had to go and reinvent himself, struggle, lose some matches, reinvent himself, come back, and he doesn't know why Rollins is envious of him, because when he first came in with Shield, a couple months later, he had some gold around his waist, and while he was looking up at the lights, where that means he's being pinned, and he had to pretty much reinvent himself. So Rollins wants some smoke. you know what? He threw out the challenge for the Hell in a Cell match, and he says, you know, we all saw Rollins come out laughing in the promo, cut
Yeah.
broke in, and it was a good promo, back and forth. What you guys thought about the promo first of all with Cody?
Hey,
And
and give me credit. I'm at least trying to like keep up with what they say and like that.
I mean,
okay, why are you being
I
defensive?
actually like the promo because Vince is actually letting Cody be himself. You know,
Yes,
I like it because he's actually letting him use non WWE terminology and whatnot.
exactly.
I
And
think that
uh-huh.
I think that everybody that that he should let them just go out there unscripted, not unscripted, but like you know, lightweight unscripted. If that makes sense.
No, I
More,
got you.
more,
Bullet
more, more,
points.
more,
I think
more,
you mean.
not,
Yeah,
more,
bullet
more
point.
or less whatever plays to their strengths, I guess. Because some people may need to be a bit scripted, other people doesn't need to, so it kind of depends on the person. But yeah, I do agree that the promo between Cody and Seth was pretty good. The back and forth was great.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing that really sold me was when he said "winner's curse." Nobody says that in a promo, and you don't want to. You're basically blurring the lines of reality and whatnot. So
I think Cody's portrayed as more of a sophisticated kind of baby face, so to speak.
Exactly, with the suits. You're right. You hit that. You
Yeah,
nailed it. He coming
yeah.
out sharp with those suits. Coming out looking really sharp, to be honest with you. Cutting that promo there and going that back and forth. But let me tell you this: they even have a clock countdown on when he's coming on Raw. That dude is over, big time.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
I like that aspect of it. I mean,
Yeah.
they're doing something different with Cody, and I'm digging it.
yep.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that too.
One thing's for sure. This feud is definitely over. Like I said, I'm still not a fan of this being a three-peat. However, I'll try to block that out of my head, especially if the third match ends up being really, really good. Like I'm not
He
even
al-
asking for that much.
he also
But my question to you guys is: do you feel like something's gonna happen, like interference, whatever, in this third match? Probably even to get Rollins a victory.
well, how can you interfere as a hell in a cell?
It's
I
WWE.
mean,
They'll find a way.
to be fair, Brock
Yeah.
interfered in the Hell in a Cell like a few years ago and caused a no contest, right? So
Yeah, but
That's true.
people have interfered in the Cell match a
Don't
bunch of
forget,
times.
Shawn Michaels found a way to get in the
K-
elimination chamber, and they'd be like,
Dude,
"Hello, Taker, switch in."
Kane's debut was an interference of the Hell in a
Yep.
Cell match.
Hell in a
Yeah.
Cell match, indeed. It was. He broke the door down and got. And yep. You're
So,
right.
but in terms of if I do think there may be an interference, it depends. If let's say they do tease, a storyline with someone else before this match, and maybe it's a possibility. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. I think this is going to more or less be a straight up match
Let me
between the
let
two.
me let me poke your brain a little bit here. A little creativity. Well, not too much, but interference wise, this is the perfect opportunity. Hell in a Cell. You know what he's called, the American Nightmare. He's fighting Rollins, and all of a sudden the Fiend returns to fight the American Nightmare. And now you get away from Rollins, and you bring and Bret Wyatt doesn't have to get over you. This is another one that Cody could set up a nice feud, and you could still go at it. Just thinking outside the box, not seeing Bret Wyatt out for a while, and also you could also you have a lesser blitz there as well. Could bring them back kind of together again because they're not doing nothing more, and then you could actually bring in Rhodes, could kind of bring in Brandy in. I'm just trying to think of something
I
different.
I
It,
I I
I don't think Brandy is going to actually like wrestle because I heard that she was horrible at wrestling when she was in AEW.
I get the creativity aspect of it, but I think, well, first off, if you put Brandy with Cody, that's not gonna help Cody at all because
Okay.
he's there's a lot of goodwill with Cody right now,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and two with Bray feuding with Cody, for example, I feel like that's a too big of a lose situation because you're not gonna have Bray's first feud coming back. He's gonna take a loss in the end because then it's kind of like repeating what every Bray Wyatt storyline is, right? So I don't know. Like maybe again, it's just an idea.
You
You know.
But
just
that's
mentioned it too. He doesn't need. He have done that before, and he's still over. This is a
I
I mean,
wrestler
agree.
that you
but
could
there's also
lose and you could still
a
get
thing
over.
called law. But there's also a thing called law of diminishing returns too, because
Okay.
right, it's kind of the same thing I think about with MJF sometimes. Like his feuds are kind of wash, rinse, repeat. He loses in the end. The babyface goes to too many obstacles, and then he wins in the end, and it lasts for like 6 months. So
Do you think that? I mean, speaking of MJF, do you think he does want out of his contract with AEW, right?
Yeah.
That's what I saw somewhere.
It's looking.
I,
This is
looking.
why we'll leave that for the end of the show. I got a
yeah,
hot take on that. Please remind me on that
yeah.
on what's going on, and it's gonna tie into everything from the beginning of the show to now. So remind me on that hot take.
Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, go on. Everyone can still talk about what they went to with Cody.
No, but generally the overall the segment was pretty good.
It was.
All
It was
right.
excellent.
So
Yeah.
so next we get Asuka, who basically cuts a promo about Becky, and basically she just ends up mocking her. Long
I
story
mean,
short.
let's be honest here. Asuka has gotten a lot better at English. Like, remember when she first came to WWE, she couldn't, or United States even, she couldn't even speak a lick of English, and now she's been in the United States for how long?
Maybe
I think
7, 8 years.
I think she's
Yeah.
always spoken in good English. It's just part of the act.
Well, I mean, better
I-
than
I
better
got-
than usual.
I gotta mention about Asuka's promos. The English is not really the issue, but bro, why are we still doing with this whole Asuka cutting crazy promos? I thought this is something that she did like 2 years
It's
ago.
part of her character. It's
Yeah,
like,
but it's way too it's way too cheesy for me. I don't know.
I agree.
And here's the thing. I like Asuka and all, but the whole Becky is a bit. I'm like, ugh. This is way too hard.
That's SmackDown. That's SmackDown-ish.
That's way too cartoonish. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I get the whole like being all energetic and whatnot, but sometimes you can get a bit too cringy, and I'm like, ugh. The intensity is there, but it's like you don't need to go like way too cartoonish. I'm just not a fan of these promos. The Oscar 2 years ago was kind of funny, haha. Now it's, ugh. But whatever.
hey, you said aha. I say if only you can take on me.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Oh God. Anyways,
so yeah, next we have Chad Gable versus Ezekiel, and man, you were talking about a guy that's probably the most over guy in wrestling right now. That's Ezekiel. And by the way, one thing I did forget to mention,
That's not that. Oh my God.
at the very beginning of the show, I think they did have a video package where Ezekiel did talk about Elias and how they went on road trips or whatever. I think that's one thing I did. I think I almost forgot to talk about. I'm not sure, but just in case I did, yeah.
Ezekiel and Elias the same person. We all know it.
No,
no,
they're
it's
not.
not.
No, they're not.
No, it's not.
Are you stupid?
They're different. Come on, just like Ken Owens and Kevin Owens from last week, they're different people.
No, that was obviously Kevin Owens. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. There's a
These are
picture
two
going.
different
There's a picture going around.
He's never shown this picture. Look, that's obviously Elias, and then Ezekiel.
You can Photoshop that though. So
How do you Photoshop that?
That's a real person. You don't Photoshop real people.
That's just his older brother. He was happy for him. He even said it himself. He was happy when his brother got.
I know a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend's cousin that's Elias and Ezekiel. So
all right then. All right, we're just gonna agree to disagree here.
No,
And one thing about that segment that I love, we had Kevin Owens on ringside speaking on the narrating on the match with the broadcast team. We found out they're my neighbors. Both Elias, Ezekiel, and Kevin Owens. They all live in Orlando.
Yeah, a lot of wrestlers live in Florida, so.
Yeah, but they're my neighbors. Never knew that. So, yeah, good to know.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are you
Very
gonna go
interesting.
offer them like I don't know, like apple pie for an autograph?
I'm gonna offer them to come in here and cut a promo and
Oh,
shit on you, bro.
I would love to talk to Kevin Owens. Like I still got his autograph.
You're gonna talk to him and say, "Hi, I'm a big fan of yours."
I
He's gonna
really
say,
am.
you know what he's gonna call you.
Yeah. I am a big fan of Kevin Owens. Like I've been watching him since it was Kevin Steen for years now.
What a mark.
Okay, funny story though about Kevin Owens. When I first met him, I'll be honest with you, I was running to his car and I saw Sami Zayn in the
Whoa,
in
whoa,
the.
whoa, whoa! I'm sorry. Wait, what did you just say?
I was
You
running.
came to his car?
Well, there was a stop sign and all the fans were running to their favorite wrestler's
That's a
car.
red flag. That is a red flag.
And I ran to Kevin Owens' car and was sitting beside him with Sami Zayn. And
Were you
I
that
got
crazy fan that beat up freaking Dave Chappelle the other week?
no. Anyway, I got Kevin Owens' autograph, talked to him for like I don't know 2 minutes probably,
You
and
got a
then
restraining order, right?
no, and I saw Sami Zayn. I was like, me.
Yo, heel looks like the guy that tackled Seth Rollins all those months ago.
And then I remember Kevin Owens just telling me, "Kid, that's probably gonna be the best thing in your life." And I was like, possibly. I was thinking in my head. I was like, because right now it is though for sure.
Well, I tell you that was something
well,
that
at that
wasn't
moment.
the best thing in my life. This last 2 seconds.
I wish I could take those
It's
2
so
minutes
funny.
back. I think we just witnessed. I think he just basically exposed himself. I think we need to report this guy.
Yeah.
This guy came up to his car and say, "Hey."
Hey, guy. Hey, guy.
Hey, he signed it though. So
Yeah, he signed it because he wanted you to go away, my guy.
Hey, he's a
Yeah,
better
he's like,
Canadian.
please.
He's a better Canadian than you.
Nah, he just doesn't want to get freaking canceled on Twitter, you know.
What?
Anywho, but as
I'm
far
sorry, I missed something. What happened?
no
Oh,
worries.
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Consider yourself lucky.
Freaking heel's going on his diatribe.
Yeah, he's going off the rails again, you know. And you know what that means.
Ezekiel won.
I thought you know what? I actually thought the match was pretty fun. Between
It was a
these
good match. It was a good match. The only thing at the end, it got a little bit sloppy, just a little bit at the end. But all in all, Kevin Owens and you know what, Otis. Not for nothing, him at ringside with this comment with his back, and he was just hilarious. He has grown as not just as a wrestler, but the way outside of the ring and all the shenanigans.
I agree.
It's fun. It's not. It's you listen. I want to watch that 20,000 times than the 24/7 nonsense.
Oh my god. Freaking Corey Graves had me laughing during the end of this segment. I was like, hey, you know what? I just went along with freaking Kevin's just so he wouldn't beat me up.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. That was great. All in all, and Ezekiel was, that character's over. That is a gimmick that couldn't. Granted, that gimmick could have went horrible, terrible, but. You know what? This is why Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. He's a freaking genius, and also the performers for executing that role. Kevin Owens, my God, he just keeps getting better, and I don't think he has wrestled since WrestleMania. Well, except that 8-man tag. And other than that, that 5-man tag or 8-man tag, well, when they had 5-man tag.
The 8-man tag, yeah.
And that when Cody got back to Raw for the first time, it was for the 20th anniversary for Randy Orton. That's the last time he's and he's over. Kevin Owens is over.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's one of my favorites.
Now, can we talk about Corey Graves for a minute here?
Sure, go for it.
Go ahead.
When is he coming back to wrestle? Because I know he's been cleared.
Ever. I don't think he ever is. I'll be honest.
No, just the way he said it, was like never.
I think Corey Punk. I think he's just gonna sit out.
Do you just call him Corey Punk?
Yeah. He does have the tattoos like Punk.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's a thing with Carmella and Dana Brooke that could be a thing.
Yes.
So I
Oh my
think what
god,
they're gonna
that
do,
segment was brutal.
they're
That
gonna
was
do
brutal.
Carmella. They could potentially do Carmella and Corey versus Dana Brooke and R-Truth.
Arch.
Our
Yes.
truth. Okay.
Bro, that I remember when Dana Brooke said in that one segment, she made a comment about James Ellsworth, and that line did not even land at all. It was so bad. Because that was so
Yeah,
terrible.
if that 24/7 belt, if it's not gonna be a, you know, it's on the line of the FTW belt. If you ask me, it's just a novelty act.
Hmm. I
That
just
Um,
need to
that,
see.
that
I
that
just need.
title really realistic. I'm gonna say it like this, man. That title needs to go or something. I mean, like or put it like on YouTube or something. Nobody cares about it.
Just
yeah, yeah.
just have almost freaking rip that belt and call it a day. Just rip it and just throw it to the crowd.
Or
Or
just have him
basically,
win it
What
and say
are
who
you,
dare to come
Medusa?
after him 24/7.
What are you, Medusa?
Uh,
when they first brought that title, I remember it didn't go over very well.
They should have just made a hardcore belt. Just leave it a hardcore. Just
no,
leave
I
it,
remember when it was. I remember when it was the art when it was R-Truth and Drake Maverick going at it for like those few months. I thought that was entertaining. But then once you get past that, it's like whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
you
to be
even
honest,
they everybody and their mother had that belt. Even Peter Rosenberg. You know what that is that they shot
dude, Pat
the belt.
Patterson held that belt.
Yeah,
That shit was funny.
At least Pat Patterson's, a legit Hall of
a
Famer.
legend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gerald Briscoe hold the 24/7 belt. That was crazy. It just you come back to commercial break, he already pins the guy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're not gonna talk
Uh,
about the 24/7 title anymore because that title is
all
pretty
right.
much worthless.
So I
Well,
guess the
it's
main.
not good.
So
so
I guess
then,
the main
go
event.
ahead.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, first we got R-Truth, who does his thing with the Kiritozawa. He serves,
There's
four
another guy
seconds.
who needs to be taken seriously.
But yeah,
Akira.
Dana Brooke rose up, whatever.
The
Thanks his
24 second
thing or whatever.
segment. Yeah.
It's basically the same thing from last week. It's one of those things that it's like, okay, we get it. But R-Truth could be doing something else because R-Truth, let's be honest, he's really funny. But I think they're trying to get this segment. It just feels like to me that they're trying to get this over so bad, and it's like, dude, you can stop it, okay?
Yeah.
Just put R-Truth in better things, and let's move on with our lives.
Just put
Okay?
R-Truth?
R-Truth. Just put R-Truth and Akira Tozawa as a tag team and call it a day.
I would
Oh,
love for
Kazara.
Judgment. I would love for Judgment Day to be cutting a promo, and then R-Truth come out with like a DX shirt. He's like doing the chops, and he's like, "Man, I want to join DX."
Nah, it'd be
Yeah,
funny. It'd be funny. It'd be like, hey, I want to join Ministry of Darkness. He wears a Ministry of Darkness T-shirt.
yeah, something like that.
That'd
I
be
mean,
hilarious.
honestly, our truth is great. Like, I mean, that Akira Tozawa was the main takeaway from this for me because he is very underutilized and underrated in my opinion because he doesn't. I mean, he can wrestle. He's a good wrestler. I just don't like
It's
where
not
they.
really bragging about anything nowadays. I'm just being honest.
No, well,
Bragging,
not really.
bragging. If you're a good wrestler in today's generation and sports entertainment is almost like bragging like you're a good character back in like the '80s. It
You
really
know,
means nothing.
I mean, I agree with you on that to that point, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like people that are
I mean, look
underutilized,
at Long
man.
John Silver. He was a good wrestler. Look what happened to him.
Who?
Anywho, I think we spend too much time on the
I like
24/7
how
stuff.
Lucas like who?
I think we spend too much time on the 24/7 stuff. So, next segment.
Okay, Lacey Evans makes her entrance and she gets on the mic because from who really cares. Uh, Matt Riddle does his thing whatever with RK Bro, and they're talking about
Oh
how
my
they're gonna
God,
unify the
he.
trail. This is there's a lot of segments okay with RK Bro and the Usos, and then basically it leads up to
Friday night.
And it leads up to Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's number one contenders match, with Bianca Belair on commentary.
The main event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
main event time.
So the main event itself was a lot of fun. Asuka, I actually kind of expected it to.
Who
Yeah.
were we cheering for? I was Team Asuka.
I mean, to be fair, I was more so Asuka. I
like
guess.
Becky, but I was Team Asuka.
But I thought this match was going to end up being a double disqualification or something, because I still kind of think this may lead to a triple threat.
It is. I'm glad you mentioned that. This match is more and more smelling like a triple threat match due to the fact that you really can't have two faces. You know, Bianca Belair and Asuka really doesn't really move the needle. But if you make it a ladies triple threat match now with Becky Lynch, it gives it a little spice. You know, because it gives it that spice because now you have the heel factor in there. You know, who's gonna whine or complain or whatever the case is. Similar to Seth Rollins, the way he wanted a match in WrestleMania. Now she's gonna whine herself in it. I like that aspect, and also one thing I love about this match, it gave me, and I love being an old wrestling fan. Great, salute to the Great Muta. Phenomenal. One of the best. To me, one of the best wrestling from Japan wrestlers in Japan that I watch was the Great Muta with the green mist in Becky's face.
I mean,
and I'll be honest with you, that kind of leads up to what you were saying, Kev, because as far as we know, Becky might go to Adam Pearce. I think she might be like, listen, I lost unfairly, and she might be like, that is technically a DQ or whatever. And Adam Pearce will be like, okay, I'll look it further into it. And he might say, you know what, Becky, you're in the match automatically. Or we might have another match, and Becky might win the next one. And that making a triple threat match. I mean, it's a possibility.
I don't know. I want to say this. I don't know where they're going with Becky. What is her character? What is she supposed to be? Like fucking Jesus Christ.
She kind of reminds me of like Joan Jett if she was a wrestler. You guys know who that is, right?
Yeah.
I guess more of her character is kind of her going through some. She's just restless since losing the title, so she's kind of going on rogue mode right now. I guess that's kind of her character direction right now, because this is, like she said in that promo a few weeks ago, where the title was kind of her identity for 3 years, and now she is losing herself because she doesn't have the title. So she's in desperate mode right now, obsessed mode right now.
Ultimately, I think she's gonna like go insane.
But I also think too, if they don't go with the triple threat, I also think Becky is gonna interfere in the match regardless, because I still think the bigger feud is with Asuka and Becky Lynch. You know, I think this is something that's gonna maybe carry over till the next pay-per-view or something. You know.
Well, I mean, after Hell in a Cell is Money in the Bank, so they could, do something there.
Yeah, they could do something there. They might be in the ladder match, and then they do the blow off at like SummerSlam or something between those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really.
Well, I was gonna say I really don't see Asuka winning the belt because
no, not at all.
No, I think Bianca holds that belt for a while. I don't see her losing that belt.
Yeah,
I don't see her losing it yet, but there's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there's no point.
Yeah, that Asuka. I really do think Asuka or Becky's gonna be the one to try to take it off her, but she's gonna probably hold it for another at least 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's no point of making her lose that belt. She's over. Not just with the kiddies, with the girls, with the merchandise. She's just everywhere. She was a part of the board of directors meeting for the investors in the new TV contracts. He spoke along with Charlotte Flair. So she's over on these things.
I mean,
I
it's
think
Charlotte, but see, that's the thing. It's Charlotte. Nobody likes Charlotte.
I think
I love
I think
Charlotte Flair. I
I
hope she
think
Yeah.
returns quickly after she gets married.
What is your people's like year's issue with Charlotte?
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't
She just doesn't like. For me, she should really like be focused on putting people over. I mean,
But
just
she's
because.
not. She don't need to. She's the
Listen,
nature woman. She's the nature.
listen. Here's the thing about wrestling. If you're like a big name like that, you don't have to worry about people putting people over. If like I know it sounds like kind of messed up to say, but that's just the truth. Like Hulk Hogan, when he was in the '80s, he didn't have to put people over.
to
Yeah.
to be fair, if Charlotte is
Not by
despite
the way, not
to-
saying that Hulk Hogan and Charlotte should mention in the same sentence. I'm just
no, no,
using it as
no,
an example.
but just to make my point here, to be fair, as many times as Charlotte has won the title, she's actually did the favors for many people too. You know, she isn't like dominating. Well, she is dominating, but at the same time, she has put over a lot of people as
Of
well.
course.
But I also at the same time, like I like Charlotte too, but I also think, and maybe it's just me, she doesn't. You know, when you look at who's an actual draw in WWE or people who are actually making money for that company, I don't necessarily see. Maybe someone can correct me. Like when you look at guys like Roman Reigns and whatnot, like these guys bring in money. Like they're big merchandise sellers. They're a ratings draw, so to speak. Same with Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks and whatnot. I don't necessarily see that with Charlotte per se. You know, I don't really see a lot of people have Charlotte Flair T-shirts, and you don't necessarily see Charlotte's segments be like a big viewers boost too. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things. As a great talent as she isn't exactly to me proving that she is a draw, so to speak, or a big star as people tend to make her out to be.
I don't know why you say that because she actually closed and headlined WrestleMania and one
Yeah,
of the
well,
greatest matches of WrestleMania.
I get that, but it's
not
not
just
so.
for women wrestling, but in general.
But was it because of
we
her
got a
though,
couple
or was it?
of
Or,
sexist pigs.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
We got here. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
How?
Here's the pig of the ring.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I'm not. I mean, I love her. I love women's wrestling. All right. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
women's wrestling.
see, that's an easy defense mechanism.
I
But
know.
no, but here's the thing. I'm not saying I don't like Charlotte. I actually do, but I'm just saying it's.
I mean,
I don't see the results in
Man, there's
how
definitely more than I was during the whole Raw recap.
And no, but you mentioned the WrestleMania main event. To be fair, she was only in the main event not because of her, it's because of Ronda. Like Ronda was the big reason why she was in the WrestleMania main event. She's the
What?
star. Well, duh, because Ronda has at the time
So,
she has the
Charlotte
bigger appeal.
Star then? Charlotte's not a big star then in her own right?
She's a star, but she doesn't bring in as much business as let's say Ronda
Bro,
Rousey does.
That's cap.
How's
I
that?
don't think so.
In the
Come-
wrestling
She's
world?
the daughter. She's the daughter of the Nature Boy.
What does
The
that
minute
even
she
mean?
steps in, the minute she stepped into the ring.
Okay, but okay,
Like,
is Charlotte? Okay, let's look at this. Is Charlotte Flair a big merchandise seller within the current roster right now?
I don't
No.
know the numbers. I can't tell you
Okay.
yes or no on that.
Okay, but generally, when you see the crowd, do you see a lot of people wearing Charlotte Flair T-shirts or anything like that?
Actually,
Me too.
every time she makes her entrance, there are some
No,
people-
is it a yes or no? Is it a
I
yes
don't
or
know.
no?
I can't tell you
Okay.
the answer.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't tell you yes or
Okay,
no.
do you? Okay,
What?
but
I'll go on WWE.com and see the big merch sellers.
you don't even see them actually putting out even Charlotte Flair merchandise that much, anyways.
At the
But
same time, though, and I'll argue with this. She is a heel. What do you expect?
But what does that even mean though? Because Becky Lynch is
Heel-
also a heel.
Heels normally don't sell.
What are you talking about? Roman Reigns is the biggest merch
Heel-
seller right now,
heel-
and he's a heel. What's your point?
Exactly.
I'll give you that, but at the same time,
Becky Lynch is also a
normally,
heel, and she sells a big amount of merch too.
yeah, but normally heels don't sell the most
But
merch.
Not,
what is she? What are you basing on that Becky Lynch?
um,
The man merchandise, but not this new gimmick.
she's still one of your top merch sellers right now. For the longest time, even when Alexa Bliss was a heel, she's still one of your top merch sellers too.
She's still selling the doll. That's why she's carrying that stupid doll. It's not because she wants to keep that gimmick. It's because they're selling the crap out of it.
But my point still stands that whether you're a heel or not, that just because you're a heel doesn't necessarily mean you don't sell merch.
But doesn't mean that you are great. You just because you sell. Okay, so every merchandise, Hillbilly Jim sold a lot of merchandise back in the day, and so they had to do
my point is this: is that I don't see. Maybe someone can point me out like the data, so to speak. Maybe I'll be wrong about this, but for me, I don't necessarily see the return of investment in terms of like financially when it comes to Charlotte. She is talented. She has great matches, but is she really? Let's say when Charlotte Flair comes on television, does the viewership tend to either stay or go up when she's on TV, right? Or like I don't know. That's
the answer to that question or not?
I just don't see it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I just don't see it because when I would see like Roman Reigns on TV, when he came back from those few months, when he turned heel, ratings actually went up a little bit. He's also the biggest merch seller right now in the company. Becky Lynch too. So I'm just saying it's like they pushed her for consistently since 2015, and she is a talented performer. But I don't necessarily see and maybe it's just financially. I just don't see the big return of investment when it comes to Charlotte. I don't know if you agree with that.
I disagree because Vince McMahon would not have sent her to talk to the pitch and speak with all the investors about the new contract.
I think Kev pointed out something really important here. Do you really think like Vince McMahon is going to push Charlotte like he does if she didn't draw money at least in some sort of way? Rather it is
okay, but what is she drawing? Like what is she drawing in?
She draws viewers.
Is she drawing in viewers? Is she a big?
Yes. She draws tickets. She draws viewers.
She draws.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
She gets money in the places that it matters the most.
Like what?
Viewers, ticket sales. She's a big attraction. She looks like a star.
Where are you basing on? Do you have proof for that though?
Vince McMahon. He wouldn't be putting her on TV.
Because she would have not headlined WrestleMania twice. She closed WrestleMania twice.
I mean, she closed once, and it wasn't because of her. It was because of Ronda. In fact, Becky Lynch was even a bigger star than Charlotte was during the time.
Because of Ronda. Ronda it's never been in the first time in the ring, and she if it was just because of Ronda, they could have put Becky Lynch to close with Ronda. It was
Becky Lynch. Even Becky Lynch at that time was the hottest female wrestler at the time. In 2018, and I think even Samurai can even agree, So that's. I mean, look, I'm not saying she isn't a big factor. I just don't necessarily.
The way you're making it out to be is
she's
like
garbage.
It's like Charlotte doesn't draw anything.
She was the big enough persona lady to put across from Rousey was Charlotte Flair. Tell me who else was going to close out and put across Ronda Rousey.
Charlotte draws as much money as Ronda.
Okay, but where is she? My question is like where is she drawing the most in? Is she bringing in more ticket sales? Is she a big merch mover?
In the ticket sales. She obviously brings in the viewers. If they trust her to put her in the main event, that's just common sense.
Okay, and where's the stats, my guy?
Well, where's your stats then? Where's your stats to prove it then? Here's my argument. You want us to prove stats.
The burden of proof is on you.
No, actually, the burden of proof is on you. You're the one making the
because you're saying that you're making a case that Charlotte stinks. We're saying we don't think so.
I'm saying
you're the one making the claim that Charlotte.
Because if she really stinks, she would have not been 15-time world champion. They trusted her to win the belt 15 times.
And you're also saying like, she's not as big as a draw as Ronda Rousey and stuff like that. Well, where's your proof?
Well, Come on, you know that for sure that Ronda Rousey is more recognizable than Charlotte. That you already know. She's already a big
If we're talking like 2015 or something like that, then yeah, I would
dude.
probably agree with
Go
you. But we're
across the
talking
street. Go
2022.
across the street right now and ask. Do you know who Ronda Rousey is? Yeah, I know who Ronda Rousey is. Do you know who Charlotte Flair
It
is?
is
Not
about
so much.
it
MK, be
is
careful there because Flair, that name alone, Ric
Yeah,
Flair is in every rap video. He's even crossed
they
over
know.
the Latin world in reggaeton. And you're telling me that the daughter of Ric Flair, as you just say Charlotte Flair, they'll be like, oh
Are,
yeah, that's the
are
daughter.
you?
Trust
But
me, Rowdy is good. Ronda Rousey is good, and she's a big draw. But her UFC days are over. Now that she's an afterthought, they don't even give a crap about her in the UFC or what she did. You know, and yeah, she's doing great in the WWE, but the daughter of the Nature Boy,
yeah,
I think got cast cachet.
by your logic, are you saying that David Flair is a bigger draw because of his last name than
Because David
everybody?
Flair didn't have a
If
longevity
you
in the wrestling world. He didn't have a longevity.
so is it
He never
the
got. You're comparing apples to oranges because
but
David
you're saying
Flair
the
was
name.
never a 15-time world champion. Charlotte Flair is a 15-time WWE Women's Champion.
But
Hey,
you're saying okay, yeah, go ahead.
we're getting off topic here.
Consistency.
I mean, we spent the last 15 minutes talking about Charlotte Flair.
well, it's
Um,
Yeah,
fine because
I mean, it's just a healthy debate.
of course.
It's a healthy debate. But speaking of debate or hot takes, you had a hot take, Kevin, from
Yeah,
earlier
what was it that it was supposed to
about
be?
MJF about MJF.
MGF, MJF, and this is why I think Vince McMahon is a genius, and I keep saying this. Yes, this was might have been a shoot or not. I'm thinking with this here with the women's with Naomi and Sasha Banks situation, their speculation was that their creative one was supposed to lose, one was supposed to have a wrestling match with Bianca Belair, was supposed to be Naomi, and Rousey with Sasha Banks. And both ladies were not happy with the direction. They wanted more storylines with the tag team belts and so forth. Now, for them storming out and walking out there, to me, that's just a jab of the WWE. I think there's some truth to it, yes, and some of it is going to be part of the gimmick, with aspect of it. I think McMahon, I think the creative. To me, it's this doesn't happen to break that fourth wall the way that this is. I'm thinking it's them throwing jab, giving hints. I wouldn't be surprised if MJF does the same crap here in AEW and say I'm done here because he wants more money. He wants to get paid. He wants to, of course, he's talking about 2024, his free agency. Tony Khan wants to give him more money now, but he wants him to sign a long term, and he says, no, it ain't going to work like that. Plus, the locker room in AEW is upset. How this guy, they say they don't deserve this kind of money. They don't deserve this kind of, that money. He's acting like a spoiled brat. That was before all this happened with Sasha Banks and Naomi. If you look at it, you could look at it any of the other wrestling podcasts from Ashley Inc. to any other one. And I'm giving you guys a plug to you guys out there. And they all say the same thing about the spoiled brat situation with MJF. Dan McMahon does this on Monday Night Raw with calling them spoiled brat. To me, too much coincidence. The world of wrestling, the wrestling gimmick, and it's about gimmicks and situation. Me personally think Sasha Banks did not show up to the arena. She body has some issues. Remember, they're in her home state. They were in Rhode Island, and they were in New England area where she's from. I'm thinking personal situations with her didn't come up, and they're using this as an angle. That's just my thought. I think it's an angle. I'm sorry.
I I didn't actually put my take on the whole Naomi and Sasha thing. So first and foremost, you don't necessarily know too much of the details for it because I think a lot of people are just basing it off assumptions, right? So that's why I didn't really pick any sort of sides on this, right? Just to be fair, I know a lot of people are blindly going with Sasha and Naomi. Some people are even blindly going with WWE on this part. If let's say this is one of those situations where Sasha and Naomi, which I feel like it's more on Sasha than Naomi than anything else, because Sasha has had a bit of a history being a little bit complaining to management, so to
Going
speak.
rogue.
Yeah, basically. Um, I feel that's why there's a little bit of history with Sasha, but nonetheless, if let's say this is true, first and foremost, I understand like standing up for yourself. That's not really the issue. At the same time, I don't think you need to really leave or leave the show midway through, because that is a bit unprofessional, you know. So you have to also take that into consideration too, um, even if it is for the right reason, because you can always just deal with the situation later, right? And plus, I've also heard that the plan was for Naomi to win that six-pack challenge the other day, right? So the idea of going into this upcoming pay-per-view was going to have the tag champions go after the women's champions, and it would lead to them defending the tag titles at the following pay-per-view. And I guess that's basically the creative difference that both sides had and all that, which I don't know. It's very iffy. There's something missing with this whole situation. Like I feel like something is a bit off with this. And if they were
Nobody,
being, yeah, go ahead.
nobody really knows what's going on. People are just speculating and whatnot. I mean,
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like that's why I didn't pick any side of who's right or who's wrong, because we're just going based on assumptions here. I think
Uh-huh.
people are just blindly going one side because they hate the other or they don't like
Correct.
Sasha. It's just like, well, we don't really know what happened, right? So
Correct.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like, well, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes, because if they if they ever come out and say, hey, to me, I feel like this situation isn't really as big as people make it out to be. I don't know,
Exactly. That's why.
so
That's why I think it's part of the storyline. One thing, and I didn't want to get
it
into the
could be.
personal. I didn't think want to get into personal life though, but I think personally, I'm follow her through social media and stuff forth. I have not seen Sasha Banks post a picture with her husband in months or weeks. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking she might be going through a divorce. And I hate to speculate on people's personal life. That's she's a professional, so forth. But I'm thinking she's probably going through a divorce. Situation got back home, back in her New England area. Something might have happened. Something nice right of mind. You know what? I gotta go, and they added and they just because for WWE to break the wall, and then the commentator says I'm calling her unprofessional. Sasha Banks, let's face it, she is a ready for Hollywood right now, and also with Amir Khan, who's an agent trying to get Roman Reigns into feature film and so forth, and getting some of the talent into motion pictures in Hollywood. Sasha Banks, we saw her in The Mandalorian, getting involved in doing also being booked that way. WWE career helped her and helping her get that exposure. I'm thinking it's something personal. They use that as an angle. Now they could bring her into the bloodline. Where along, personally, my honest truth, be honest with you, they screwed up big time because they should have had Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, even Bailey, and they should have been the original baddies, and not what they're doing in AEW with Jay Carroll. They should have been the original baddies, or the Four Horsewomen, whatever the hell they want to call. They should be that kind of staple themselves. They missed out on that boat, in my opinion. But I digress with that. But I'm thinking something happened along the lines with that, and I think they're gonna bring the heel aspect to it. And I think I saw, if you look at it, Roman Reigns was gonna go reach out to her to speak with her, and so forth.
I
I'm
I I
thinking something
I
along
don't.
those lines.
To be fair, at the end of the day, we can all just make our own speculations. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
we'll just have to wait and see about that. And I just feel like, just picking one side or the other, or I've even seen people make some dumb takes and say this is quote unquote racially motivated, which I don't want to get to, but it's just stupid. It's just like, bro, we don't even know what the hell happened, so just leave it be, my guy. Like, just I don't know.
There's no
And that's
speculation, and she's not gonna be the Joker on AEW. So stop it.
and as far as MGF is concerned, because that's also been a big topic too the last couple of days. Um, I think MGF currently is, even though he isn't a big role right now in that company, I also do think he isn't as highly valued as people
He's
may
not.
think. right? Because especially when Punk and everybody else came in,
I think
he
you know what I think. I think he's just upset that Cody is not there anymore because he is best friends with Cody.
Correct.
and Cody must have been a guy that pushed for him and stuff like that. And
Oh,
look,
he did.
it's
That's
it's
how he
all
got signed.
it's all look, it's wrestling. It's all a political game too, right?
It
So
is.
it's they transition from the Kenny Omega era. Now it's more with Punk and Bryan and whatnot, and it's kind of those AEW originals are gonna take a back seat, and I think MGF is gonna be that guy too. I'm not saying he will never win the world title or anything like that, but he's not gonna be as big of a deal as you would think. Same, I think, with Hangman. I think
Really?
Hangman. This is, I think Hangman. This is gonna be his one and done title reign, right?
I
I
agree
don't think
with
he's,
you on that.
I don't think he's gonna win the world title again. I think this is a one and done thing. I think you'll see guys like CM Punk winning the belt, maybe, or having long runs as champion. Uh, Kenny is gonna basically be in that top picture, anyways.
They're
So
gonna
it's
they're gonna put the trios title on Kenny and the Young Bucks. I know that.
and that's true, and that can also most likely happen too. But I also think like MJF, if I'm him, it's smart for him to not make any decisions because let's be honest, why the hell would I want to sign an extension right now? I'd rather wait another year and a half before I make my decision. That's just common sense, right?
Very true.
You,
Very
you know,
true. I
I,
mean,
I would do the same thing too. You know,
I would like to be a fly on the wall for those conversations in the boardroom. You know.
oh, we
Yeah,
all. To be honest, I would too.
we all would.
But I, and I think MJF is smart enough because let's be real. If he signs right now, then he's just like, and
He's
because
a
you don't know what's
slave.
gonna happen, you don't know what's gonna happen freaking a year from now, and he becomes unhappy, and but then he's like, well, he's still under contract for another 3 years, and you don't want that. So it's better for him to weigh out his options. But I do think, honestly, if he wants that bigger paycheck, he wants that bigger exposure, and he wants to be a bigger star,
He should go to WWE.
he should go to WWE if that's what he wants, right?
I mean,
I,
if he
But
does
let's
want
be
if he
honest.
does want that,
Let's be honest. It's just going to come down to dollars and cents. It's really
well,
because
yeah. If
because
he if he if he does, but honestly, I'm gonna say this: if he does want that, then he'll be, in the same boat as Cody because Cody Rhodes, he was unhappy for multiple reasons because of
Well, he
Tony
didn't like
Khan
how he
taking.
was being used, and you know what's funny is a lot of AEW fans are like, "Oh, if you go to AEW, you get used right, all the time," and it's
Yeah,
That's
like,
but
true.
no,
that's not
no,
necessarily true.
well,
Like,
no,
look,
duh.
look at. I haven't heard anything about Malachi Black or the House of Black for that matter. What's going on with Buddy Matthews or Alistair Black or Brody King? What's going on with them?
You
Like,
have
I
to
haven't
tune
heard.
in. You have to
they
tune
have
into the Heel of the Ring AEW report that we mentioned.
dude, I haven't been on the
That's a cheap
the
promo.
I haven't been on the AEW podcast with you guys in a bit, but just to answer that, it's like, and I agree, it's like just because you go to AEW doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed success over there, especially now where the talent is just there's so much people over there.
It's
People,
saturated. It's saturated
it's
with
way
talent.
too it's the same problem that WWE had a few years ago before the pandemic where they just signed way too many people. Now AEW is signing way too many people and they have less hours to fill each week as opposed to
Correct.
WWE.
Correct.
So it's
I
like
mean, I'm
and
gonna
yeah,
say
go
this.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Tony Khan just he's spending basically all of his dad's football money. That's what he's doing.
Exactly.
Like,
And look, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
well, that was pretty much what I was gonna say,
That
and
was pretty
also,
much it.
Yeah, and the thing is, look, I'm not even look. Tony can sign whoever he wants and whatnot, and that's fine. But let's be
Fine with
real.
me.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, it's not. This is how it usually goes with a lot of these people, right? Especially people that they're not really signing as big deals, right? Let's say people like a Keith Lee or
The
whatever.
Islanders sweater has the Islanders trunk. Lands on his feet. Silver is in his home area. He stumbled.
Let's be honest. Like there's guys like Keith Lee and guys like Keith Lee, for example. I don't
Yes.
necessarily think
one.
he's. I don't think he'll get to that level that people would want him to be. I really don't. I think he would be just basically where he was in main roster, basically middle of the card. You know,
I mean, that's where he'll be. I mean, honestly, because
This
he
went from a Raw review to let's just review everything.
No, yeah, we gotta wrap up soon with that though. But I agree with you.
Yeah, just to end it off here, from my take before I give it to him. So I just want to just point out, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you know, AEW is not the greener pastures as people tend to make it out to be. You know, so
No,
I don't
that's
know.
right. You're right with that.
Yeah,
that's basically that's where I was going with that entire thing. But you know, Kev, I want to pick your brain about that sometime, because like
Yes.
I don't really. There's a reason why I don't watch AEW, because I'm tired of people saying that, oh well, because it's new or blah blah blah. It's not that great, really. It's
Samurai,
not.
my take with AEW, and I watch it because I like to cover it. I like when we have Adam, the Duff Man, and shout out to him.
yeah.
And I love covering it with him and Alex Coquito and so forth. Is that I've been saying it from day one, from the minute I saw it, and it came to fruition. That's WCW copy and paste.
That's exactly what I said. I said that too.
And then we knew that Bischoff was working with Tony Khan, even though their relationship is strained now. But that was what it was. It was when I saw Schiavone, Tony Schiavone wetting his pants every time a new wrestler came out. I said, this is WCW, copy and paste. Fans, we gotta go. He's here. It's Sting. Dude, I saw that 1990s, dude. Enough.
Hey, yo, you're right about that. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, AEW, and I have a friend who basically put it this way: AEW stands for all XWE guys.
And we all say that, and not to be not to be tribal. I'm not being tribal because I do love the WWE and I like the AEW. It has its entertainment value. It has its purpose for the folks. Because guess face it, there's a lot of wrestling fans who despite and hate the WWE. No matter what they do, they could put it. Even if Big John Studd was around giving $100 bills like he used to in the old days, they will still hate the product because of Vince McMahon and the WWE. But AEW is just copy and repeat, and it is and it is for that. It is what it is. We could man, I could do a podcast alone on breaking both on one of my real thoughts.
Yeah, but I think
it was a roller coaster.
But I think we need to wrap.
It was a roller coaster over Raw, though. I'll just say that for it.
Now, before we wrap up, we'll start with you. What is your grade on the whole Raw card, despite with all the situation that happened?
C plus.
All right, MK.
B minus.
B minus. Samurai.
I'm gonna go with the same thing as MK and B minus.
I'm with you on that B minus because all in all it was entertaining card. The only thing I could give you have things to nitpick. Of course we did. The 24/7. Why would you have a cage match when Hell in a Cell is on its way? We could nitpick that there. You could what happened with the women. We only time will tell what it really is. All in all, it was a good show. It entertained. It filled 3 hours. The Cody segment was phenomenal. And so forth. They're building a storyline. They got us entertained. Now let's see where it goes for next week. What do you guys any final thoughts or any news notes, anything that you've heard of?
No, not really. I mean, I'll catch up with you tomorrow as far as
yes. Please contact me tomorrow. I need to before the night is over. I need your information so I can contact you whenever I'm early and available to jump on and do our NXT. So if those that are listening to us in the podcast form, me and Samurai will have the NXT review. We'll break down NXT 2.0. They have some good matches. We finally gonna see the main man fight. You saw Braun Breaker answer the challenge on Gray. We will have all those news and notes from NXT breaking it down. I just lost the train of thought. What's the main guy? What's the Italian guy? The main guy that they're feuding there, Samurai.
Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo. And we'll finally see them finally settle their feud in the ring. Finally, man. Long-awaited battle.
Yep. So I'll what I'll do is after we're done with this, I'll text you.
Yes. All right. So with that said, let's say good night so we can get out of here.
All right. Like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. And sorry for getting on topic so much, but I hope you had just as much fun as we had. And sorry for the stumbling all over the place. But, you know, it is what it is. Good night, guys.
Awesome! You people bought a ticket to see me, so shut up!
Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you live under a rock,
I might
you
grab
are
a bat,
looking
I
at
don't
the
know, my
youngest
rap, my
and
blood
fastest
boils
rising
over
star
like,
in
oh God, here
professional
goes. I
wrestling
lost all
today.
feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change.